November 3rd, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on a 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. It looked like there was two choppy legs up, one leg up, pull back, second leg, a big move down, two attempts, and another leg down. Then it looks like a spike and then a kind of a gradual channel. It's a peak, and then it was just kind of choppy sideways. So this is how I drew up the charts today. It looked like maybe you could have captured all this in this big gray down channel and then this spike and then this other gray up channel. And this actually comes into play for me taking a trade, my one and only trade, and it was profitable. Other than that, I found some almost trades, the ones in parentheses, that I didn't like for one reason or another. They might have been good trades if you're more aggressive or you have more experience, you can read the price action better than me. And then I actually marked actual trades I thought were maybe something worth taking. And the only economic data that came out today was at a 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, which is about right here where my green arrow is. And it was the ISM Manufacturing PMI. And overall today was just kind of slow and choppy. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. So pre-market, there was a spike up. Looks like it was two legs down, push up again, break of the orange up channel, test the high, comes back down, makes a second leg. So this orange leg is one leg, chops around, pulls back, makes a purple up leg, and then it kind of pushes out into the open. See on the open, there's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here. I'm not the biggest fan because usually on trades like this, unless it's very clear and it's right in this 2 minutes after the market open, I'm more hesitant to take a trade. I usually like to wait for about maybe at least 5 minutes to play out to let things settle down, especially when it's on a Monday. So then prices move down on this gray down channel. There's a new low here, created a new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Second entry short, I like that it bounced off the EMA. I did have this gray channel drawn, at least a preliminary one drawn. Now I was thinking it might move back in, but I didn't like the signal bar being an inside bar to this. So it left me a little bit unsure. I was looking for a lower high, but a lower high never shows up. I mean, you technically get a lower high right here, but it's so far from the setup, it's not really helping this cause. Plus the trade's already been made by then. So then it starts moving. It starts breaking out of this green down channel, breaks, tests the low, and it keeps going down. And I couldn't really get a good channel to encapsulate this all. It doesn't look quite right this way, this way, this way. So I just treated it as a second channel right here, this purple one. And it seemed to fit pretty well. There's really no setups here. You do technically have a new low, first entry short, second entry short is a bad signal bar. You only have the strength of maybe this resistance of this purple down channel to help you out, but I didn't really like the setup. So it comes back down to a new low. You only have a first entry short, comes back down, bottoms out. It already broke out of this purple down channel and tests low, but it's kind of shallow. It's a little ambiguous. So it pushes up. You have a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Now this second entry short would have been fantastic. This channel is actually slightly moved, something closer to this. So it broke, made two attempts up. So this actually would have been a good setup, but in real time, I didn't have this big gray down channel drawn yet. I didn't even have it as a preliminary anything yet because you don't know that this is going to show up to connect this line. I did have a few trend lines drawn to try to connect these, but nothing really fit that well on the high side. So there's no trade here, unfortunately. And then once this formed, I was looking for a lower high, ideally right here to continue downwards, but there was no lower high that formed. Then it creates this break of this pink down channel. Makes one attempt down, second attempt. This also looks like a new high. First entry long pullback, second entry long pullback, creates a higher low, but I was thinking I was potentially in a range right now. So I wasn't that excited about taking a trade from here to here. That is enough for 1 point scalp, but I didn't feel super safe with it yet. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short, second entry short, but it looks like it's one leg up pullback, potentially a second leg, and a fail breakout. And I actually thought this is a possible trade. So this red down channel has made technically one attempt down, second attempt, but it could also be seen as one visual leg pullback, second visual leg. But you also have this potential trading range with a fail breakout, made two legs up. Decent signal bar. I like that it moved one tick above this guy, then encapsulates this guy completely, talking about this signal bar, all the way down and closes at the low. And here you do have enough for a quick 1 point scalp, but even two. So it'd be two, we'll be pushing it a little bit, but one for sure. So I thought it was a possible trade there. Pushes down. And plus, if you look to the left, when you see the setup, market is looking pretty bearish. It looks like it might be holding support here, but every time it tests the support, it kind of falls down a little bit because from this, it was testing the support, fell down, testing the support, fell down, testing the support, fell down, testing the support, fell down. It does push up high. This red trend line doesn't exist yet, or at least I don't trust it yet because there's only two confirmations. And plus, I needed this to set up to even draw this line. So then it's recreating the setup again. So it's a new low, pushing down, pushing down. It feels like the EMA is acting as resistance. So I thought this was a possible trade. I didn't take it though. Just wasn't too sure about it. Pushes down. I was looking for a lower high confirmation, but it never shows up. Pushes down. So now I do draw this as a possible channel because it has one touch, two touch. The low side seems to have decent confirmations. There's a new low, first entry short, second entry short, it's bad signal bar, leaving that one alone. Looking for a lower high, but unfortunately, lower high doesn't show up. It actually makes a high that's higher than the previous. Prices push up. I'm watching this carefully to see if there's going to be some kind of response to this, but unfortunately it pushes up. So maybe there's still a potential fail breakout with prices moving back into this channel. This channel is valid, which it kind of feels a little iffy because there's a lot of empty space here, some empty space here. It's just not very consistent because prices aren't really moving up to the highs and lows very nicely. I mean, these channels look better. So this big one is a little more suspect. So I'm wondering if this price are going to move back into here. As you can see, it kind of pushes up and out. Break of this pink up channel, test the high. This gets a little choppy. I'm not really sure what's happening here, but it is new high, first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it's a doji, so I don't have an order ready. Then the follow-up trigger bar closes it as a doji, so I'm not really sure about this. I had this green up channel drawn, and I extended it out because I was thinking at one time maybe this channel is actually something bigger like this big blue one. It bounces up. I'm looking for a higher low. You do get a higher low, so it's actually new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long pullback. Potential higher low. I like this. I thought it was a possible trade. It's a bounce off this bullish trend line, this blue one right here, which seemed like it could have been a continuation of this green one. This orange down channel is broken, made one attempt down. It could make a second attempt down, but it also looks like the EMA is holding. So I thought it was a more likely push up than another push back down. So if I wanted to take this trade, which I kind of did, but I hesitated, I would put the entry right at the highs of these two, a double bar. So it will open, flush up, and you'd already get your quick 2 point scalp out of this. Prices then move up. It looks like it's moving up this green up channel. So I trusted this blue trend line even more, but I wasn't 100% sure it was actually a channel yet because I just copied this and placed it here. So empty space, empty space, empty space. So I wasn't 100% sure. I wouldn't trust this high side just yet, but the low side trusts pretty well. It's confirming pretty well. New high, first entry long pullback. You might have a second entry long here, but it's an inside bar. And then you have a confirmed first entry long, second entry long, two legs down. I just didn't like it broke below the EMA because this is the first time prices broke and closed below the EMA since all the way down here. So it's a little suspicious. I want a first entry long, second entry long, higher low above the EMA. So you almost get a higher low, triple bottom, except these candles are now looking a little weak now because they're closing. They're having sellers push it all the way down, creating these big stems. That leaves me a little cautious. Pushes up. You might have a higher low here if the next one opens and closes above this, but now you have a big bearish bar. I'm not a big fan of that. Inside bar, technically both of these are inside to this one. Technically 1, 2, 3 bars are inside to this one still. So now I'm just not taking any trade at all. I need to see what happens. It looks too sideways. These are just piano keys now. Pushes down. Looks like you have a new high visual. Well, I took it from here, like a visual low here. First entry short. second entry short. Then it pushes back up. So it also looks like it's 2 legs down. On this big leg is 1, 2, down, pushes up, 1, 2, down. So like it looks like a visual second entry long, but it's also inside bar to this. So this is just too congested for me. And my experience just tells me I don't know, I haven't seen this enough to feel confident getting a gauge of which way the direction prices are going to move. This new low here, first entry short, second entry short. Unfortunately, it's a bad signal bar. I ended up drawing this as a potential range, but now it's the first entry short, second entry short. I wanted a lower high, but it starts pushing up. So then I drew this potentially as a orange up channel, flushes down. It's a potential fail breakout on this side. You have a first entry long. Technically, you have a hidden second entry long here, but a technical counts a first entry long. Then it actually gives you your second entry long, also a higher low, also multiple tests. And this is where I took my one and only trade. So the fail breakout here, it created a corresponding fail breakout here. This gray trend line doesn't exist yet, but this blue trading range does exist. And I saw it's 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, technically 4 or multiple tests of not just this line, but this zone, the support area. It looks like prices are starting to reverse. So it's a new high, first entry long. I counted this as a pushback down, second entry long, and this is a higher low. But you could also see it's actually a technical first entry long pullback. This guy broke below this guy and pushed back up. So this is at least a visual second entry long, although it's hidden. So I liked it. I entered at the high. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Enter at the high, pushes up, and it's a little hard to see, but I got my 2-point scalp right here. The prices move up, the new low, first entry short, second entry short, second entry short, could be another failed breakout. I see this. I wanted a lower high to just be confirming that I'm moving back into here because overall bias is up sideways. So it's coming back down. I want to go with the flow. The flow seems to be like it's still bullish. If I want to take a short here, first entry short, second entry short, I want a lower high. So this would be perfect if a lower high forms right here. There is a lower high here, but it hasn't confirmed a lower high because you don't know what the next candle is going to be. I don't like that this is inside bar, so then I decided I didn't want to take a lower high. And if you did try to take a lower high, your entry should be when it breaks below this guy. But if you want to be more conservative, you might miss the trade though. You wait for it to break below this guy. But that never happens. It pushes back up, so it was a non-issue anyways. Prices started moving up. Starting to break out of this blue trading range. I just kind of darken it in, make it purple for now. The new high, first entry long, second entry long, pull back, continues downwards. Starts pushing up, doesn't test the low side of this trading range. When it bounces here, that's when I drew this yellow up channel because it touches 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 confirmation. So it could be moving up this yellow up channel. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long here. I just didn't like that this is a doji. It feels a little congested right here. Fortunately, that would have been a decent trade, but I just didn't see it in time, and I didn't see it in real time to mark it as a trade. So it's just something that happened to work out. Prices move up. It's this high side. So now I drew this as 1 touch, 2 touch, and I was thinking, is there some kind of channel that I'm playing? Pushes down as orange down channel, break, 1 attempt down, second attempt down, second attempt down, failure. I thought this failed second entry short was a possible trade. This break of this orange down channel has made 1 attempt down, made a second attempt down, and then failed. It's pushing back up, pushing through the EMA. And it's bouncing off the bottom of this possible, still unconfirmed trend channel, because this is a third touch confirmation, so it looks like it might be moving back up. Pushes up. You don't get a higher low, unfortunately. By the time you get a higher low by the technical count, it's kind of right here. So say new low, first entry short, second entry short. Well, if you did the strict technical counts, first entry short, first time broke below, second entry short, second time broke below, and then you don't get a higher low till about right here. But it feels a little dicey because prices already moved and tested the highs. Starts chopping sideways, starts moving up. I'm watching carefully to see if it's going to resist or react to this resistance part. It does touch it, starts coming back down. So it's first entry long, pull back, Wondering if the second entry long is going to show up here. It does create a second entry long. The second entry long fails. So I'm thinking first entry long, second entry long failure. I don't see this in time to try to take a trade. Pushes down. I feel like this is a trappy area. The reason being is you have a new high. You have a first entry long. You have a pullback, second entry long. Second entry long, it closes so strongly. If you decide to take a short because you think, well, obviously it failed, it pushed below the EMA. If you're like me, you're thinking this great up channel is in play, then you would put your entry probably one tick below here. You would have gotten filled, pushes back up. You would be sitting in this noise, and then this candle would have failed you, or this candle would have stopped you out. But here's the thing, it's like a first entry long, second entry long, thinking second entry long failure would have failed on you. But you also thought it's a new high, first entry long, technically first entry long, second entry long, pullback. Is there a higher low? You don't really get a higher low. So actually, I misspoke. I thought at the time there was some kind of secondary trap, but now I look back in hindsight, I'm not sure. I think it was just a trap for the shorts because you're thinking first entry long, second entry long failure. And then if you entered, you'd be in here, and then you're thinking lower high, but except this lower high is now getting convoluted because it's getting confused with the EMA. So if you took a first entry long, second entry long failure, right here, you'd be in the trade. And if you're waiting for confirmation, this candle shows up thinking there's a lower high plus a close and engulf this guy. So you'd probably try to enter here. Maybe if you try to enter after the break below this guy, you'd be in the trade right here. And then again, this guy would have stopped you out. Prices move sideways. You have multiple tests up here. Unfortunately, there was like a new low, first entry short, second entry short, second entry short. It didn't follow through and keep pushing down. And then it creates a multiple test. So you need like a third entry short strategy, which I didn't have and I don't have. So I had to leave it alone. Plus, when I look at the overall bias, it's starting to turn around. It's no longer selling off. It's starting to creep upwards. So I would just be a little more hesitant. Prices then move down, bounces. So I'm thinking I'm in this blue trading range. Let's go ahead and color it in just to make it easier to see. Break of this channel, pushes down, tests the low. So I'm thinking one leg down, pull back, potential second leg. It completes a measured move, one leg down, pull back, two attempts up, push back down, made a measured leg. Unfortunately, it doesn't get to the low side of this. Starts bouncing around, and it creates this potential second entry short. Now, there's a break of this orange up channel, has tested the high. So technically, this orange up channel has tested the high. I didn't really have this red down channel drawn, and even if I did, it cut this off. I would have had it here. So seeing this, it's already push out. It could come back down and test low. It could be one attempt down, second attempt down. So I was thinking in hindsight, I didn't see this in real time, or I didn't recognize in real time. This might be a possible trade. There's not a triple test in this range, unfortunately, but it looks like it's one leg up, pull back, second leg up. It did create a measured leg already, but there would have been enough for at least a 1-point scalp, ideally two, because you do have enough room for a 2-point scalp. So you would get the 2-point scalp all the way by one of these two candles, bounces, creates a triple test, second entry long. So you have a localized high, higher than, well, not higher than all this, but there's a first break and you swing high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long, plus a triple test, one attempt down, second attempt down, third attempt down. Now, I thought this was a decent trade because it's confirming this gray up channel has one touch now, two touch, three touch. This is the fourth touch. You have a potential range. It's 1, 2, 3 triple test. Decent signal bar. Move one tick below here, pushes up. The only thing I didn't like was the EMA might act as resistance. So if you're going for a 1-point scalp, it would have been good. I'm usually, well, lately I've been going for a 2-point scalp, and I was concerned that there was not enough momentum to carry me up and break through for a 2-point scalp. So good enough for a 1-point scalp trade, but I was unsure for a 2-point scalp. In this case, it would have worked. You have a new low, first entry short, second entry short. I call it an almost trade just because the signal bar is terrible. You do have one touch, two touch, three touch, triple test. This purple down channel doesn't exist yet, so I can't use it as key entry point. So it's an almost trade. Pushes down and finally breaks out of this gray up channel. reverses, and this purple down channel is looking a little bit better now because I start coloring it in. But it starts breaking out, breaking this orange up channel, test the high. New low, first entry short pullback, second entry short, it's above the EMA. I'm a little unsure. This gray up channel could act as support and as a bounce point, so I'm not ready to go short. I need to see a lower high, ideally below the EMA and outside this gray up channel, but you don't get that. You have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, triple test, creates a lower high. When it flushes down this strong, I thought this is a bit aggressive, but there's a possible trade here because this trading range and this trading range, the high size, they kind of match up. So you can actually extend this all the way over. Clearly, there's some kind of resistance zone here. You have a break of this orange up channel, has tested the high. Now it looks like it's coming back down. So it's one attempt up, pullback, second attempt up. This purple down channel, if it's valid, needs to test this low. This really strong rejection, this big candle engulfed this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles previously. With such a strong push, there's likely enough momentum for at least for a 1 point scalp. But I thought it was a little aggressive. So if you entered like one tick below here, you'd have to live through this one, and then this one would flush down, likely give you your 2 point scalp on probably this candle or maybe this candle. It chops around. If it didn't, you'd likely have gotten out right here, but you had to sit through this noise. Prices then move down. Looks like it's moving down this red down channel. Pushes up, break, test the high. First entry short, second entry short. I'm looking for a lower high. There is a lower high, but it's too far from the EMA, too far from the setup. I just don't like it. And plus, it's getting too late in the day. And it pushes into the close. So it was kind of a slow day. I'm happy that I got that one trade right here. Probably maybe another trade that I think may have been somewhat decent is probably this one, because it had a few key entry points going for it. It had this gray up channel, which had been the fourth test. This potential trading range support area, another key entry point, decent signal bar. Even if you're playing range rules, you still have a first entry long, second entry long. So you have like three things going for it, enough room to this side. So this is probably, I'll go ahead and asterisk it as maybe a decent trade to have taken. And then this one, you had to pretty much, trust, and because this is not the biggest candle, but a bigger candle with respect to what's happening today. And it felt a little dicey. So kind of how I saw the charts today. Hopefully that was helpful.